Guys, can you just tell me what this is quickly?
This is the conductive paint that we have been developing based on an open source recipe and some like Egyptian touches. So it's basically
like
no, it conducts. You draw with this material, and then you could conduct electricity through this this paint.
Mm-hmm.
We are working on the development of this. To build a startup out of that based on this recipe to teach, mainly for educational purposes, to teach people like kids electronics, and it's like the recipe for this paint is like very cheap and it's affordable.
Yeah, and what
so
we are working on now to make it more healthy, you know,
yes,
to be dangerous
yes,
for the
exactly.
kids especially. That's why it's out of calcium stuff and components.
Ascorbic acid,
vitamin
C,
and vitamin C. So it's healthy even if the child.
So even if they eat it, it's not going to cause any problems.
Yeah,
exactly.
We are still researching on that, but basically it's safe for children. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and the main idea is that not only to make use of the paint, the conductive paint in selling it like that, but to make accessories and educational toolkits for the children to learn more about electronics stuff and how they can connect different components together and learn something behind that, not only using the paint in a wow idea or in a wow application. You know. So it's more about being benefited out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and on the other side, it's very important to work on that to help icealex sustain, so we could do more workshops and like incubate more startups and more ideas, so people could learn and get access to materials and machines better, and to spread the maker culture around Egypt more.
Very cool.
So the makers' children.
Yeah. Makers children.
And could you tell me a little about how the idea for doing this paint came about and how it was developed?
Yeah, well, it started with me and Sahar. Sahar, I know that she knows a lot about chemistry, and she was like, she doesn't like the regular way of working. She's always researching and looking for like new challenges. And then I thought there is conductive ink, and I'm not very good with chemistry. And now I have Sahar. Let's connect our efforts. I do the idea part. So I told her, what about conductive ink? Take these links, read about the conductive ink. We can do that, and we can base a startup on that. It could get you revenue that will help you do, secure your research and stuff like that. Because Sahar has like a lot of other projects that she's working on. So she started looking for the materials and recipes and started working on that. And I helped her a little with logistics, but mainly it was her like looking for the materials and connecting things together. So she based her work on an open source recipe, and then she started like the researcher inside her, refused to like just do. She said like we have to do like some improvement, and she's working on that right now, and we are improving like very rapidly with that.
Wonderful.
We have also this prototype we built from like bottles and like spare parts. This is like insulated car pumps. We have this 3-stage system to purify water using bacteria. So this bacteria is fed on the stuff that is that's bad in water, like heavy metals and stuff like that. So we have these 3 stages. In the first stage, the water stays for a certain period of time, and then it goes to the second stage, and then the third stage. All this is 1, 2, 3 are incubated, and then the water comes out in like a reservoir where it's stored for usage. And all this will be designed inside like something like a big container where you can't see anything, but it looks very nice, and it can be used at homes to purify water. We are still working on that, but we did this prototype out of like this cars pumps. This is a Lada pump that is used for like cleaning for the wipers, and this is a Hyundai pump that we wanted to try to see the flow rate, the difference.
Yeah, and this is not a promotion for Hyundai, huh?
No, it's not. And this
Actually, this is a
is
request to get support more from Heinz.
and this is like cannulas where you have like this little bomb where you can stick it and there is no leakage. And we like calculated the flow rates and we built like a very simple circuit to calculate the flow rate. But after that, we are using Arduinos to make a whole system where you can change the parameters, because the pollution, the percentage of pollution in water, it varies from place to place. So you can change the parameters based on this software, so the pump will work in a certain time based on the pollutants that are in the water in this area.
So this is also addressing, it's not just the chemical pollutants that we were looking at in the first workshop that we did here, but also looking at the bacterial, microbial and viral kind of pollutants that would be in rural communities.
Basically you can using these bio techniques you can reduce like any kind of pollutants. You have to choose the right bacteria and like do the light culture and do a very good insulation. That's why we have like in the last stage we have this ultraviolet lamp that would kill any bacteria that would go to the next stage. So you make sure that this water is clean and the bacteria are like like it's encapsulated in its unit, and that's it. And we designed this very generic. It's not only for Egypt. It could help the whole African continent or anywhere where you have pollutants. You just customize it, because you get the water, you analyze it, you find the pollutants, and then you plant the bacteria that will fight this certain type of pollutants.
Yeah, and we can replace these ones as well with the conductive paints, huh?
Yes, you can of course you can replace these breadboards and stuff with just drawing. Yeah, if you are lucky enough, we found like this guy who's expert with the inkjets, the inkjet printers. He is going to help us to make this inside the inkjet. It's challenging, but I think we can
help
do that.
in that as well if we manage to control the density.
Yeah, it's related to the viscosity, the density, and a lot of other stuff, and it's very challenging. Yeah, but it's nice, you know, because it's when you see the possibilities that could come out of that. Yeah, you think it's very good. And this is the first prototype of the laser cutter. It's a project that like the icealex community, part of the icealex community is working on. The idea started with Mushira. She wanted to build like a very small laser cutter where you can hold on your back and go to the craftsman.
Instead of this one.
Yeah, instead of this huge, very heavy ones and very expensive. And instead of these ones, she wants to add value to the craftsman work, to people who produce like dresses and clothes, Egyptian women and Egyptian families who produce this stuff. What if you could go with this laser cutter and you have like very nice like Egyptian culture drawings or Islamic, you know, drawings or anything, and then you put the cloth and then you have like engravings and drawings on that cloth. So this is basically the idea. This is the first prototype. It worked, and we have like this very simple DXF drawings. It still needs improvement, lots of improvement, but we have already finished the second prototype. I think I have it on my flash drive. I can show it to you.
Yeah. And what's it made from? Like what are the parts?
The idea is to use the resources we have as a laser cutter to build another laser cutter. So you'll find that all the components are laser cut. And we are, by the way, we are planning on releasing everything on the open source. We were planning to do a full documentation and to release everything under the open source license. I'm not sure which license exactly yet, but the team will figure it out. But it will be definitely open source. So we decided to make use of the laser cutter we have to build the parts, and it's the cost of the whole thing is very. It's very cheap. The most expensive part is the laser diode, but all these parts is basically really cheap. And we used also the idea of upcycling by using like motors from stepper motors from an old HP inkjet printer. We used like this thing we bought for like 10 pounds. It's very cheap, and we got 2 stepper motors and 1 DC motor. And this stuff is it's very common in Egypt. You can get a lot of this. And even if we are going to mass produce this thing, we can like buy the same stepper motors because it's there too.
And where is the laser from?
Yeah, the laser we bought the laser from on eBay because this is a Blu-ray laser, and
so you could also get it from a Blu-ray DVD drive, but they're not so popular in Egypt, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we are using also Arduino to control this laser cutter. We are planning to. There is a team in GUC, the university at Cairo, who's working on a software for this laser cutter that could work on the mobile phone of the craftsman. So when you think of that, you think about Chinese low processor mobile phones. So it's a little bit challenging, but the thing is that we are imagining that this guy, he doesn't have a computer or anything. He will just draw the stuff if he wants to draw something, or even if he wants to get something from the internet through his mobile, and then he use this application to print on this laser cutter.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
And
what you need at that time to sustain this
yeah.
project? In matters of components, in matters of sales and marketing, in matters of...
Yeah, actually we are trying to develop it a little bit, because if you look at accuracy and precision, now you need to pay more, because this very low cost stuff, it stops you from to a certain level of accuracy, and then if you want to go further, if you want to the product to be like to sell it for everyone to be usable, you need to use more accurate stuff. And this, we are thinking about crowdfunding this laser cutter, and also it will be very nice to find like maybe investors or people who could use this laser cutter in their countries, or who want to support this idea, because this project is like, we have like 10 to 12 people working on that project, but mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, and people who just like to do things. And if you have like with the longer time span with no support and stuff, I'm afraid maybe the project will like fade away, and maybe we'll find other things to do.
Okay. And can you tell me a bit about the process that you learned how to build this? Because I thought that was also quite interesting what you were talking about.
Yeah, it started by Mushira, the girl that I told you about in the beginning. She wanted to build this laser cutter, and she came to icealex. Because in icealex we do support any idea that is coming from the community. We really want to make any idea happen using the stuff that we have and the tools. That's what icealex is all about. So I told her, okay, why do you want to work on this alone? Let's make an event and tell everyone about this, and let's make this together. And she said, okay, let's try that. And then we wrote down some sentences. We are going to make a laser cutter that is based on that and the link. And then if you want to come, it's commitment that is very important. You don't have to have any background. You have to be committed. And maybe if you have like a background with programming or electronics or mechanics, it will help. But commitment is the most important issue. So people showed up, and they were very excited to see what's going on in this icealex thing. And all of them, it was the first time for them to come. Maybe one only who came beside Mushira. And then they found the team found themselves.
There were 18 people, I think, in the beginning.
Yeah, there were 18 people, but the people who continued was like 12, and this is a very good percentage.
Yeah,
people were like very doubtful, but when they found that there is a plan of action and there is like a good coordination, they thought, okay, let's try for the next time. And then the next time they found like progress, and then okay, let's do the next time, and then they are like addicted to this.
And I actually found it a good experience from the point of view of the self-organization, you know, with very little supervision, but with a good passion. So this is the main idea. You should not have the full idea of how to build a laser cutter, but you have to have the passion as well as Google.
Yeah, that's
Passion and Google is the key. Result.
Passion and Google is the key, yes. Because you know we have already a team that has been working on a laser cutter that is based on laser saw, and they built the laser cutter, and now they have a fully sustainable startup based on producing products out of this laser cutter. Those people were there, but we agreed that they will not say anything. They will just see everything and how's everything going, and as like to make people like more you know safe and sure. I told them that we know people who did this before, so in case you are stuck in something, and I know that you are stuck, I will the help, you know, the magic help will come, but you have to do the effort, you have to be committed. But don't worry, there is people who did this before, and we can contact them, and you can find support anytime you want. The great thing is that they didn't seek this support at all. They just worked it. The thing it was psychological.
Yeah, exactly.